3rd and goal from the 10. 8:40 to go, fourth quarter. Here's the snap. Arizona breaks 4. Plenty of time for Jayden. Throws over to the middle, into the end zone. That is caught! Touchdown! Touchdown, Washington! Terry McLaurin, back-to-back weeks for a score in the 4th.
I love hearing the glee every week from Bram Weinstein of WBIG. You can just tell this guy's having the time of his life, as are all Commanders, employees, and fans, of which I guess he's one. He's an employee. Jayden Daniels goes 26 for 30, 233 yards through the air with a touchdown and a pick. Also runs for 47 yards on the ground. The Washington Commanders are 3-1, and they lay the smackdown on the Cardinals 42-14.
On the road, where the defense hasn't really performed recently, they had to have a win in a score fest where they scored every time against the Cincinnati Bengals. I thought it was going to be up and down the field, and to start things off, it was. The Cardinals go right down. Kyler has a touchdown pass to Marvin Harrison Jr. right after Jayden leads things off with a touchdown run, but eventually the defense gets pressure on Kyler. Kyler is 16 of 22. A lot of those incompletions came on 3rd down, where Arizona was ultimately 4 of 11 on the day. But it's tough to not watch this game and come away with, oh my God, Jayden Daniels is legit. For the second week, only 4 incompletions, including an interception. Second game in a row where Jayden has had this random miss where the ball doesn't go anywhere near where he wants to go. It's actually behind the defender as well. He kind of makes a great one-handed grab. Other than that, pretty much a perfect game, where also Brian Robinson Jr. goes over 100 yards on 21 carries. He's averaging almost 5 yards a carry in this game. And Cliff Kingsbury comes back. Afterwards, Dan Quinn, laying just a litany of F-bombs in the locker room, says that Cliff Kingsbury is not leaving this blanking city without a blanking game ball, and tosses it to Cliff, and they're going crazy. Everything's coming up Commanders right now, Shook. It's their world. They're leading the NFC East.
This is also a Cliff Kingsbury revenge game, by the way. I think that's a side note. Never in a world that I think that we would be praising so much Cliff Kingsbury so much, just because of the way that his tenure went with Arizona. But here we are. And you know what? Let's take a moment here on a very happy day, somber moment. Let's pour one out, metaphorically. The possession streak ends at 16.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It finally ended. They finally didn't score on a possession, but that's how good they've been. They've been dominant. They've been pumping the ball in the end zone. Jayden Daniels, his completion percentage was 86.7%. That's after he set the rookie record last week in that win over the Bengals. You can't stop these guys. They're a machine. No Austin Eckler because he's in concussion protocol. No problem. Jeremy McNichols, come on down. 8 carries, 68 yards, 2 touchdowns. Throw anybody in there. This offense is a well-oiled machine. All we need to do is put warm bodies in there. We're going to blow you out of your own stadium.
Yeah, the success rate for Brian Robinson, Jeremy McNichols, and Jayden Daniels, all of them were individually over 50%, which is like a huge number when you're running the ball. So it just shows it doesn't matter who it is. Yes, Daniels is obviously special and chooses well when to run. I think he's gotten a little more careful over the last couple of weeks, which is a great sign. But the offensive line, that's the one thing I think Kingsbury deserves the most credit for. Really, the thing that he did well in Arizona, I thought, was coach up and have a good offensive line, despite, that you looked at the talent and you weren't really sure, and they've been very good. And it's not just a throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage thing, Patrick. Jayden Daniels was 5 for 5 under pressure today. So when they got some heat, which wasn't too often, 5 passes under pressure is not a lot. He was complete, and 7 for 9 on throws between 10 and 19 yards. So he's been pretty good on the mid-range. The deep balls haven't really happened except for the 2 famous plays now from that Monday night game. But it's amazing. This team could I don't know what this team could do. Well, they could win the division. Why not?
And honestly, because defenders are scared to get too far upfield. You have to be honest about your rush lanes because you don't know when Jayden's going to pull down. He's making the decisions very, very well. He's coming into this game, it was 2.51 second snap to throw. Where we just talked about Rodgers getting rid of the ball in that range in a slugfest where they couldn't move the ball at all. That's how quickly Jayden's been getting. It seems like perhaps the Giants in that field goal festival a few weeks ago had the best game plan with Jayden Daniels in
I mean, they didn't stop him though. I mean, right?
They
No,
were really good
inside the
stops.
20.
Yeah, they were really good
Inside the
stops
20 they
inside the
did, yeah.
20.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they were just like when they were blowing open holes in the red zone. It was just they were easy. The Cardinals defense played a little closer to where I thought the Cardinals defense would play in the first 3 weeks of the season. And then the Cardinals offense was disappointing. You watched it closer than me, Patrick, but Kyler took 4 sacks. He looked a little frazzled at times, I thought. Like his eyes were down where he looked a little confused. So I don't know if that was something Dan Quinn was sending at him. Dorrance Armstrong had a good game, but for the Commanders team that was 32nd out of 32 in a lot of categories, this was, obviously a great performance by them. After, a quick start by the Cardinals offense, they get the first drive touchdown, not much the rest of the day.
Well, the one thing that has been consistent with the Commanders secondary is when the opposing quarterbacks have taken the shots, they haven't always been able to make plays on the ball. And Kyler just, I'm not sure how things were, he was seeing them, but he just wasn't taking those one-on-one opportunities when they were available early. But Emmanuel Forbes, who's gotten a lot of negativity from the way that his career started, made several plays in this game. St. Juste as well, these guys, the Commanders at corner have really, really struggled. And we'll see the next time that they get a chance to make plays on these 50-50 balls. But today, Kyler just didn't really want to pull the trigger on them.
They're in the mix, Washington. I mean, they are leading the NFC East, and at this point, you have an offense that good. You have to think they got a real chance. Our friend Nate Tice, who's helping us out at the NFL Network here, so I'm on Good Morning Football, tweeted out something that the Washington Commanders, through 4 weeks of the season, I believe are in the top 10 all time in success rate. So that in terms of just like, do you have a good play on a down basis? They are ranking through 4 weeks with the best 4-week starts of any offense in history. Yes. They are getting it done.